So according to Google, a race car is defined as it says auto racing is a motorsport involving the racing of automobiles for competition. But all I can say about race cars is that they are uncomfortable, gas-consuming, raging environmentalist machine that makes a lot of noise. All the aggression which comes with a race car, like wider body kits, big wing, more noise, more horsepower, burning flames, just makes it cooler and cooler. But this is a serious question. Are they beautiful? No, they aren't. They are just not. They are not, because unlike road cars, these cars are only designed for cornering and speed, which means while designing a race car, companies don't give a flying fuck about elegance and beauty. Tons of broken lines here and there, antenna coming out of their many holes, and literally everywhere too. So why am I making this video? Well, it's easy. After completing my previous video, which took a lifelong time of 5 lazy months, could have been 6, I couldn't pick any other topics, so I thought I should make a video on something which was so unique, it's almost factually bullshit. So here we go! Hey! The thing I said earlier about this topic being a lot illogical, I gave this a thought, you see. You know, when we see a road car and then its racing car version, all the differences can be found in my previous videos, like how to make a race car series. Anyway, a rule of thumb, if a car is wider, it means it's better. Don't believe me? Here is the concept of the MK5 BMW. If that joke is not spammed all over the car community enough, that someone will dislike this video now. But the production car was not as impressive as the concept car, because this one is wider and lowered. And the same goes for that Porsche EV, I don't know the name. Anyway, let's get on with the list, and these are not in specific order, by the way. They are just my list. Starting with the Ford GT Le Mans GTE Pro. I'll be honest, I still think the first generation Ford GT was not especially beautiful, but it's cool but not beautiful, unlike the Ford GT40 in the 1960s, even though it was clearly inspired by it. But this second generation Ford GT was so pretty that I can just watch this car for 15 minutes straight without getting bored, and that too if it was only one picture. Also, this beauty was designed primarily for winning Le Mans, which means this road car was first designed in order to be a race car, which means this is a beautiful race car, and if you don't agree, either you're blind, or you're lying, or just a fucking idiot who got no taste. I mean, seriously, the body of this car is just exquisite, especially this part of the car for its aerodynamics. Moving on with the Maserati Gran Turismo GT3. You might have never even heard about this car's existence before, because it's so obscure that I couldn't even find the Wikipedia page for this car. So I got its information from a website right here. Nothing special to talk about in its detail because you'll get bored to death, other than it's got a V8 with 500 brake horsepower and a bigger, finer ass. Look, the Gran Turismo is without a doubt one of the most beautiful cars in the world, and even Jeremy Clarkson agrees with me.
No, Maserati's better. Put the Maserati back up. There,
I
that's
think the
better.
Alpha's better looking.
No, I'd have that.
And just like I said about beauty in cars, the wider the car, the better. With this in mind, the Maserati Gran Turismo is the most beautiful car in the world. Its racing version is even better in terms of beauty. Anyways, if you guys are wondering How in the world could I have researched this deep to find this race car? Well, it's easy. I just have an RC model of it and the wallpaper of Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. Next car which I thought was the beauty queen of the mid 2000s before the Maserati came in. Of course, I'm talking about the Aston Martin DB9, also verified by Top Gear. Now, just like the Maserati, this Aston Martin DBR9 is just beautiful due to its much wider hips. And I love it to the point that whenever I get Ronnie's Aston Martin DB9, I always change its body kit to number 4 because it is its race car inspired body kit. And hey, this gives me another chance for my shameless promotion about my video, ranking every blacklist car in the Need for Speed Most Wanted. Check it out if you are interested. Moving on, right, here is the trump card, the Pagani Zonda R. Arguably the loudest, hottest, and plainly the most illegal car in this list on road and on tracks. The reason? On road because it's a pure blood race car, and on track because it's loud as fuck, yeah. So, if you want to drive this car at all, either you need to have your own racetrack or you go to jail. But apart from its functions, the aesthetic of the car are just magnificent. This is lowered and more wider than the original, already wide Pagani Zonda R, but that's not the end. The crude aerodynamic elements usually found in race cars are more rounded off, which gives it more cleaner and better look. And it only came or seemed to came in black only, since it had a naked carbon fiber body and golden rims on top of that, which gave it a look of a witch, but not just any other old haggy witch you'll usually see. I'm talking about an anime witch, scary and beautiful at the same time. Now, if you know Stipe from Top Cars TV, nice dude by the way, you might have seen his video on 7 most beautiful Japanese cars. In that list, he defines a Nissan Skyline R34 GTR having a sort of masculine beauty. I don't know how that works, but I think he's right. It looks gorgeous, having angular vents and holes, which makes it much better, he said. Then I gave it a thought. It would look much better if race cars are practically a hometown for all the vents and holes in the world of cars. So I looked it up and oh my lord, it was one hell of a sight. Just look at it. I won't say much other than the fact that the analogy which I gave earlier in this video about beauty was directing towards feminine beauty, as you know. But this Nissan R34 GTR GT500 is like having a broad shoulder like this, man. I would have needed to specify that and say that I'm lucky. Anyway, let's just come back to the 90s. The era which gave us one of the greatest machines known as the McLaren F1. But before that, here are some honorable mentions. Audi R8 LMS GT3, Honda NSX JGCT, and the Porsche 917. What did you expect? Some description? Well, that is why it's in the honorable mention, you see. And if you're mad because of this lackluster, just note that they are beautiful. Moving on to the first race car, which is known as the Porsche 911 GT1. Oh, so sexy. The 90s was one of the era. McLaren F1, this 911 GT1, Lamborghini Diablo, Jaguar XJ220, Ferrari F50, Pagani Zonda, and one more, which is the final car in this list, but the Porsche 911 GT1. Awesome. I'm actually glad Porsche did this thing because I think that the original 911 was more cooler than a better car to look at in regards to its beauty. And the same goes for the rare extended race car. But when I saw this mid-engine race car, all was changed to heaven. This slick, low, wide and seductive race car is just something else. I can watch it race all day long and couldn't get bored. I can get lost in sight in these lines, and best of all, the golden BBS rims. Big fan. Finally, the race car you have been waiting for. It is the Mercedes CLK GTR. I really love this car, and there is a good reason why, as it takes me back to my roots of existence. I think when I was 3 years old, I went to my hometown at Granny's house, where there was a PC in which it had a game called the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Oh man, that was the day I saw this beauty of a car, and I would always argue with my brother to drive that car, even though it hadn't been unlocked. But still, I wanted it. I always wanted it. Cut back to today, I still love that car as much as those lines, vents, mid-engine placement, which gives it a nice touch and makes it much better than the original front-engine CLK. While I was talking about its road car version this whole time, it was originated by the race car itself first, which was an aerodynamic disaster, which caused this kind of damages. But that is why I love it. The pure essence of a race car. All balls to the walls things, and again, the BBS rims makes it much better. And that concludes my list. Thank you. Again, the year is about to end. Sorry, it's March. I'm sorry. While I recorded this video, I think it was in the end of December 2021. But anyways, I'm just going with the flow. Again, the year is about to end, and there are only 4 fucking videos in this year of time. Man, that video count is low as fuck. I'll try my best to upload much more frequently, and I don't know how or what that best is supposed to mean, because my unit test begins from Jan, the same month when my birthday comes. Fucking bullshit as schoolsmate. But hey, best try anyways, and see you next time, viewers.